Too strong for him. Oh.
that there are people are probably asking what I'm doing. So I guess I mean, I don't need to tell you, but right now, I am activating commands and enchanting words of power through sigil work with intention oils and herbs. And they all have different meanings. These are things that I have created. And you can do this pretty much with anything. But I recently saw this TikTok, and I already kind of knew this, but it reactivated me to do this work. But I saw this TikTok recently where, like, oh, really? You can't? You know what I think it is? I think it's the music. All right. Can you hear me? I'm not going to be talking for much of this, or most of this. Let me know if you guys can hear me. If not, I don't know what to say. I'm guessing you can't hear me. Okay. I was gonna say, can't hear me, I don't know what to tell you. It's a watch party. But I saw this TikTok recently, and this woman came up on my feed, and she had said, it was like one of those videos where they're like, oh, if this found you, you're very, very lucky on TikTok. You know how they get you. Everybody's super lucky. And I consider myself to be a very lucky person. I will say that. But thank you for the gifts. I'm just going to put that there. So anyways, she said something along the lines of, you can program your mind by creating an action. Obviously, we know this. Creating an action that then represents an outcome, right? And programming that every time I do this, this happens, right? And people do this all the time. Every time I eat vegetables, I lose 2 pounds. Or every time I, scrub with this body wash, my skin becomes clearer. Every time I go for a walk, more money appears in my bank account. Or every time I brush my teeth, I get a text message from a certain person, right? Programming actions to have an outcome, right? And then continuing to charge that outcome over and over again. So that's like basic magic. But I was like, that's great, amazing. And it was a nice little reminder to activate that. And then I was like, I haven't done, I love affirmations. Yes, Aquarius. I love affirmations so much as incantations, as spells. I mean, a big portion of how I do my magic is through speech and through communication, right? Like speaking life into stuff. I mean, I'm a singer. But I was like, I really want to make my own command phrases, my own words of power, and things that I've just made up, things that only matter to me, and things that I can say whenever I'm out and about. Like if I'm in a situation and I need to call upon a certain energy. Now I do have books that I love for that, but they are kind of things you do before the situation happens. So this book right here, Words of Power. This book is amazing, and it's called Words of Power: Secret Magical Sounds That Manifest Desires. And if you haven't ever picked up this book, I highly recommend that you check it out because it's worth it. But let's see. Let's go over here to one of my, like, I feel like the one that gets used up the most. Hey, Eddie, how are you? This one is to become the most lovable version of yourself. And I love using this when I'm going out places where I'm going to probably be meeting new people and I just want to show up as the best version of myself. But I also like it because it helps to shift my mood, you know, from like if I'm feeling nervous or tired or grumpy or irritated or whatever, it actually helps move me into a space that's a little bit more free and accepting. I'm doing well. I'm doing really well. Thank you for asking. It's been a long time since we talked. And it's just a beautiful thing to use when you're going out. You know, I love this one and I use this all the time. But the thing is like, there are like techniques for when you want to use it in the moment, but it's like you have to memorize it. And like, I would rather make my own and like know what it is going to do and remember it and be able to activate it whenever I want to. So love this book. If you're somebody who's like just starting to do stuff like this, I highly recommend just like picking it up. I think this is like $7. $7? I don't know. Anyways. So that's what I'm doing. So you can hear say a bunch of words that you've never heard anyone say. Yes, absolutely. We definitely got to catch up. Hello there. So yeah, you're probably going to hear me. And this candle is like spitting, like psh, 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 which is really interesting. You know what's also interesting is like I already know, for one, that like I got a lot of people that follow me just so that they can just watch what I'm doing. You know, people that I've like removed from my life. And one thing about TikTok is you can actually watch people without ever coming into their lives. You guys know this. So you can just like sit back and watch them without ever like coming in so that their name doesn't pop up. It's a really interesting thing. And what's funny about it is when you're a witch, you can sense it. You know. But don't want to spook anybody. And honestly, if you're coming into my live right now and you like don't already know that I'm a witch, I mean, my literal name is the Glamour Witch. I don't even know what to tell you. Like, I don't. Like, were you expecting me to be like reading Bible scriptures or something? Like, like, oogly boogly, bitch. Like, what the fuck? It's just so fucking funny when people come in here like, this is some devil shit. Well, you better get out of here then. I'm calling Satan right now. Jesus Christ. People are funny. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Does that make sense? Can be expanded. Mindful meditation helps you with your intentions. Yes. Mindful manifestation. Ooh, I don't know why I sent... Whatever. It happened. Pushing buttons. Just like going back and reading some of the stuff that was being said. But yeah, no. Again, none of this stuff is like super complex, but it's handy. And if you do it, if you just do it and write it down in your book of shadows, right here, and then just continue to activate it, you know, keep it simple. Like, don't do anything that's like some huge thing, just like little tiny things, like stuff for money, stuff for improving your mood, things that help you gain more favor or attraction. You can do stuff to get someone to shut the fuck up, or, you know, to bring healing to somebody when they're really upset. You can do stuff to help reveal the truth. You can do a lot of different things, right? Disarm people. And the more you program it, the more you activate it, the more powerful it becomes. And for me, I just rather make it my own, even though the book that I recommended to you, sorry, my neighbors are walking their dogs. Even though the book that I recommended to you is a really great book, yes, any book can be used as a book of shadows. I personally like this one because it has parchment paper and it's a vibe. It's a vibe. And I can also do magic inside the spell book, and this page is the paper is strong enough, and like the material is sturdy enough to be able to handle, like, if I want to put a candle in there or herbs or press wax in, it's not gonna like catch on fire in the same way. It also is great if you don't want things to bleed through. The book that I just named is called Words of Power by Damian Brand. This is from the Gallery of Magic. I talk about them all the time. I pretty much have almost, I don't want to say I have every book by the Gallery of Magic, because some of the books I don't like. Like, there's like a love one that I'm like, I also don't really give a fuck about it, so maybe that's why I felt like when I got it I was like, this is kind of lame, like I don't really want to. But I feel like it's if I were to ever actually go and do some of the rituals, I'm sure that it would be good. I just don't care. Hello from Italy. Hello. Yeah, and then this book, if you guys want this specific spell book with these types of spell books, you can just go to the link in the top of my page, because you know how TikTok be. And then I have an Amazon storefront with all of the tools that I buy, the supplements I take, like the magical, spiritual stuff I take, herbs, all different types of witchy stuff, and like glamour magic stuff too, if you're interested. Hi, New Zealand! It's all there, so if you're looking for it, I mean, you can always just go there and then just click on the thing, and then you know how they always have like recommended stuff underneath, and then just kind of go on the rabbit trail with that, and find something that you like. This one's pretty basic, but I just wanted to buy it to see if the pages were like what they look like. You know how sometimes on Amazon it just don't be coming out the way you think it does. But when I got it, I was like, I was so fucking happy. So good. I also buy parchment paper there. All my parchment paper. And it already comes like stained, and then the edges are like burned and stuff like that, which I like, because then I don't have to do it. I don't have to go through the process. And there was a time where I used to make all of my parchment paper from scratch, which I still think is a great idea. It's just, it's time consuming, and if you really need it and you forgot to make a batch, it's like a pain in the ass. But it's way more powerful, obviously, if you make it yourself, because some people just use coffee or tea or whatever. But I'm like, fuck all that. Like, if I'm going to go down the route of doing all this, I might as well take a herbal blend that matches the intention of my desire, bless that, add a couple of drops of whatever spell oil that I'm trying to imbue it with into the water, dip my pieces of paper, my sheets of paper into the mix, and then let it dry either in the oven or out in the sun. And now I have blessed paper, and I can just do all my money spells on my money paper or my manifestation papers, whatever. And I was doing that for a long time, and that shit fucking worked. Not only did it work, but that shit was insane, to the point where I was like, I feel like I was like a crackhead with it. I was like making batches every week. And I actually have a video on my YouTube channel, how to make money paper. So if you want like the actual step-by-step of how I did it, coloring it and doing all the things, then I highly recommend going to my YouTube channel. Again, top of the page, or you can just type in The Glamour Witch on YouTube and my face will pop up. So yeah, super dope. Anyways, I'm going to return back to doing what I'm doing. I'm sure people have questions, so I mean, if you have a question, I don't know. Can you ask questions? Can people ask questions in here? I'm thinking this is like Instagram where people can ask questions and. Welcome. Thank you guys for the likes. Thank you guys. Appreciate you. I'm actually. Let me see. Liked it on accident. I thought I was doing something else, but I guess I'm not. All right. What I like about this work too is because it's activated by fire first, and then I can continue to work it. And then you can either continue to activate it by speaking the word, writing the word down on top of pieces of paper, like over intentions. So if you like, if you're like doing a petition paper and you know you have your command phrase or your spell word, you can just like write it over the top of it, almost like you're signing it, like doing a signature. Do I have any music coming out? Yes. Yes. I'm very excited about it. Top of the year. And all my music is spell music, but this one is mantra and spelled and has words of power in it, and frequency tones and all types of stuff. This one's very special, and I'm really excited to release it. It's probably going to be in mid-January, because right now I was going to release it before the end of the year, but I was like, nah, that doesn't make any sense. New year, started up top of the year with the energy. And I also wanted to do it after the retrogrades. I'm like, I kind of like get out of the retrograde period and then release it, where there's not all this technical shit and like weird delays and just weird energy, you know? Especially this Mars retrograde that we've been in this whole fucking time. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I haven't posted on my YouTube channel in a little bit. The last thing I posted was like my beauty spell, and then I also was doing my protection magic, which I like filmed the third one and didn't edit it, and it's just been sitting. But I feel like there's a reason. Like Spirit literally told me to stop. They were like, this last part, pause. Because I feel like some of the stuff I was sharing, I feel like some of it is stuff that maybe needs to be private. I'm going to share some of it, but like some of the stuff I was sharing was maybe a little bit dangerous for YouTube. And I even said that in the second video. I said some of this will be cut out for Patreon, and then the other will be put on YouTube, because some of it's just a little bit too much, and it does require like summonings and you know, if you're on some petty shit and then you're trying to like do one of these spells, yeah, they're like, you, as much as I want to be like, oh, I'm not responsible for what y'all do, which I'm not. Like, I'm not responsible for what you do to a certain degree. If I put it out there, it's on me. So they were like, just wait. Like, I think you need to like like, I think you need to wait and find out if it's the right time. Like, because there's some people watching you very closely, and they would probably love to activate some of that shit. And I was like, But the thing is, I know how to deactivate it. You feel what I'm saying? Do you have any skincare spells? Ooh, yeah. There's a spell on my YouTube channel. It's a beauty spell, and the beauty spell has many different like things to it. I'm supposed to be doing this shit, and I just like stopped. So the beauty spell has 3 parts to it. There is a candle working. There is a like blessed waters that then you wash your face in the blessed waters, like the herbs and everything on your face, just like kind of like rubbing it there to like cleanse yourself. There's an activation in the mirror. It's mirror magic that goes with it. It's a whole thing. And then there is this rose spell. It's a ritual that actually uses the rose as a petition paper. Very, very special process. And I actually learned that rose spell from someone named the Holly Witch. And she used to be on YouTube, but she switched to Patreon. And I love the Holly Witch. I think that she's not practicing. I don't know. I haven't checked her Patreon in a long time, but the last time I was on her Patreon, because I used to be a member, she basically was kind of being like, well, I'm kind of switching over to like maybe going into Christianity is what she was saying. And I was like, all right, sis. I'm like, I don't know how you go back, but like, all right. I mean, Christianity is just everything that they stole from everybody else. I mean, you're not far away from it anyways. You just, yeah. Anyways, the spell is on my YouTube channel. There is, wait, let me see. I'm trying to go back and look at all these. I see a green light on your right. Is that your aura? I don't know. I think that's just like, I don't know. It might just be like this thing. I don't know. Maybe it's the flame. Yeah. It's the flame being mirrored in the camera. Wish I could say it was some witchy shit. But that's not what it is. My little light. Okay. Yes, go ahead and check it out for sure. Hello. Oh my gosh. Breaking Tita. Oh my gosh. Hi. I love you. No, it's okay. No, it's okay to ask questions. It's all right. Hi. Ooh, look at that. See, every time I need to get a better stand because this one is just like not the vibe. I'm doing well, just doing a little bit of magic, sharing. Just sharing. Yeah, and answering questions. I haven't been live in such a long time. It's almost abnormal a little bit. I forgot. You know? The magic of lives. I'm always watching lives. I'm never like participating in them. I just feel like sometimes like it's like what do you talk about? People ask questions? Like, what's that? Like, what are we doing? Where am I from? I'm from California. See all that? Y'all see that? They're like, not too much. Thank you so much. Yes, take some notes. Yes, so I'll have to repeat my goddamn self. Okay, West Covina, let's go. For anyone getting into glamour magic, any tips or things to do? So many. When you said that, I was like, I just went like into my brain, like all the archives. I don't know if you guys saw that. I literally like went into my body, like was like, yo, should I throw everything? And I was like, that's crazy. That's crazy, y'all. I fucking neurodivergent ass. Yeah, the Rolodex. Yes, it definitely was Rolodexing. I was like, what? You asked me the ultimate question. God, I mean, I think, you know what? I was talking about this earlier today. Y'all. The most important thing that I think people need to remember about glamour magic, and this is something that I cannot say enough, because motherfuckers be out here. I mean, listen, I love I love seeing people get into glamour magic. I really do. I love that it's like becoming more of a thing. I do appreciate that, because now when I'm talking about, people are not like, what's that? Or like, whatever. Like, I love that. It definitely makes my life a little bit easier. But even if it didn't, I probably would still keep doing what I'm doing. But anyways, the point I'm making is a lot of people go into glamour magic specifically for what? Confidence work, to be more attractive, to be more alluring, to get more attention, right? And that's a great way of using it. One of the many ways to use it. And look at that damn stand. I think it's this. You know, I think the weight of this thing is actually what's causing this. Okay, there we go. Anyways, the most important thing to remember is that this is not about hiding imperfections or removing qualities that you feel are undesirable. Because you got to think about it like this. If you're doing the magic to cover up things you don't want people to see, it's always going to come back and either bite you in the ass, slip when you don't want it to slip. And there's always going to be somebody who actually will see through whatever it is that you're doing, right? Whether it be another practitioner, whatever the case may be. So what I always tell people to remember when they do this work is think of it like how people talk about makeup, right? When you do makeup, oh my gosh, love glamour magic. Think about it like this. When you if you're into makeup, you're somebody who does makeup, or you just know anything about makeup, you know that the trick to a really great, flawless application, it doesn't have anything to do with the quality of the makeup, doesn't have to do with the brushes, although those things definitely help, right? Having different colors and knowing the technique and knowing how to do the brush and how to blend, all that's really important. But anybody who is worth their weight in salt in the makeup industry will tell you that the trick to a flawless fucking makeup application is skincare. Right? It's the base. And if the base is a clear, beautiful canvas to place these things on, you're only highlighting and accessing what is already there. You're only transforming or amplifying what is already there. You're not covering anything up, though there might be some imperfections here and there, but nothing that you're so highly insecure about. You're not using the makeup to cover anything up. You're using the makeup to pull the attention towards the beauty that is already there. And on the days where you don't want to do the whole rigmarole and go through the whole process, you are so confident and so in tune and tapped in with your skincare routine that you know it holds weight no matter what. You know your beauty and your divinity and your gorgeous energy all the time, always. And so when we do glamour magic, it's not to hide and to put glitter on top of open wounds and cuts and sores and put stickers over, it's only meant to bring out what's there. You know what I mean? I'm so happy to hear that I locked a new game, because that's really the bread and butter. And I talk about this in my class, my glamour magic class, because we break it down. And the first thing that we talk about is self-love and healing and empowerment. That's the first thing we do the first week of the class. And then we move on to things like beauty and attraction and magnetism and influence and business and power and protecting yourself and making yourself invisible and catching the evil eye and transmuting it into power. That all comes after, because if your superficial understanding of glamour magic is rooted in, I'm trying to hide something, I'm afraid that people are going to see the truth of me, I'm trying to hide this because I want other people to perceive me a certain way and I need this, it is always going to register as false in the moments where you need it to be seen as truth. And instead of trying to fake it until you make it, you need to be it until you see it. Y'all, I'm preaching in here. Y'all better screen and give me some goddamn. I'm in here preaching. Oh my gosh, let me go back and read some of these. You guys are hilarious. Also, glamour magic is appreciating, yes, absolutely, the face of the ancestors. Would visualizing what your energy to look like while doing it is a good way? Yes. Okay, so when you're doing glamour magic, yes, be it till you see it. So one of the things that I like to remind people about doing glamour magic and the focus that needs to be placed in those spaces is, yes, you definitely, no, it's all good. You definitely want to remember how important it is to be radically honest with yourself about whatever energy that you're in, right? It's not about removing yourself out of an energy you don't like. It's accepting the energies that are there, right? So if you're feeling in a funk or whatever, then the intention is not to remove the funk, or the intention is not to cover up the funk, right? Or fake the funk. The intention is to find a way to banish the funk in a way that actually addresses whatever the issue is, so that you are empowered. There is, again, that blank canvas, right, for the magic to land on. If there's all these, and I hate to say it like this, bumps and imperfections or whatever, you're not treating the issue. Visualization is a really, really powerful thing in magic in general. I mean, that's like literally like most of magic is being able to visualize what it is that you want the magic to be doing. But in glamour magic, you have to place it in your aura, because you're not just doing what you want, like what you're envisioning, right, to happen, but what other people are also seeing. And it needs to be so palpable within your aura that it is undeniable, unshakable, unfuckwithable. It needs to be so embedded in your auric field that nothing can come in and shift that energy. And the best way to do that is you need to work on your auric field. I love doing aura magic with glamour magic. You need to understand the energies, the purpose, and the power of all of your emotions, even the ones that are not so glamorous, and how to utilize all of them so that you don't ever have to fake the funk. You don't ever have to pretend, because visualization is great. But when you're in a headspace where you can't really like you're just in that space, sometimes it's not about trying to get out of the space. Sometimes it's trying to delve into the space and understand the space. You have to understand the space. Auric. Your aura is the energetic field that is around you. You know, when you go into a space and like you're like, ooh, it feels kind of weird in here. You can feel into a room before you've really even stepped into it. You can just feel like something happened in here, like, or some tension, or just something's weird or off about this environment. Or you feel really good, like this is like really good vibes in here, right? That's your aura picking up those energies, because it's literally like 20 feet around you, right? Your auric field is pretty far out around you, and it is linked to your emotions, your chakras, it's your eating habits, exercise. It's all there, right? And so when you really get good with aura magic, your glamour magic is 100 times more potent. And people skip that because it's like, oh, I'm just visualizing that I'm the most glamorous person in the world, most beautiful, and that's great and fun and lovey-dovey. But when you're not feeling good, working on your aura, going into those spaces, finding those colors, like where are these colors at, right? Yeah, funny, weird, exactly. Finding the energies within your aura, whatever that funk is, like how do you trace that back, pull it through and mix it with something else to create a vibration that can be beneficial to you, right? You know, whatever that is. And it's super important to be super dialed in and tapped in. And again, like going back to what I was saying before, the first thing that we talk about is self-love and radical self-honesty. Because people want to do this work because they want to like feel better and like fake the funk and like get their ex back or make that person mad they ever fuck with you. Yeah, spirit be talking. You know what I mean? And it's not what this is about. And some of the first things, and I'll share this with you guys because I have no problem sharing with it, is like, usually people look at pay. Usually I gotta pay for this. It's true. And this candle all night tonight has been going off. One of the things that I always encourage people to do when they start this work, right? You're creating a new version of yourself, and you're using the glamour magic to help amplify that new version, right? And one of the first things I say before you start going into this, doing all the things and all the spells and all the rituals and all the, you know, all the fun stuff, I always recommend that they do an apology letter, right? We talk about making magical routines, right? Glamour magic routines, utilizing the days of the week if you're somebody who's into that and can do that, but just creating magical habits that are centered around the type of person that this glamour magic is trying to create. I'm so happy to hear that. Like, let's kick it. Please. And creating a apology letter. Now, this apology letter is so powerful, and my students have a hard time because we spend that first week, and some of them, they're like, I feel like the apology letter is just like so long. I'm like, well, if you feel like you need to write it out and spend a day writing it out, great. You don't have to sit there and think about everything you've ever done, but think about the last couple of months or even the last year of the things for you that have been subpar or below the quality of the type of person that you have intended to be. Apologize for your role in bad behavioral choices, in picking and choosing the people who are in your life, and accepting and tolerating things. Apologize for not validating your own feelings, for shaming yourself, for participating in negative self-talk, which is self-harm. All of it. Spend some time really getting honest about the fucked up things that you be doing to yourself before you come and do this work. Because all of this is going to unearth your deepest insecurities. And if you have not created a system where these things can come up out of you and purge out of you and have a healed, a clean, sterile space to be dealt with and sifted through and loved on, it will fuck your shit up every time. You will not achieve the type of goals that you think you're going to with this magic, because you will constantly be run in with your insecurities, rammed into with your insecurities and your fears, your doubts, your worries. Oh, what does that person think about me? Is my magic working? I don't know. Like, should I be using my glamour magic for this situation? Like, is that like lying? Like, am I going to find the right person with this? Like, I don't know. Like, they should be seeing this. I did a spell on this day. Why isn't it working? All that shit, it can't be there when you've created a system for yourself where you are constantly checking in, constantly taking ownership for your behaviors, for the things that you do and don't do. When you show up and you make promises to yourself and you keep those promises, and then you take responsibility and apologize to yourself for breaking those promises, right? The habits of how you treat yourself are going to allow you. This is the skincare routine. This is the washing your face. This is the putting the oils and the lotions and the potions on your skin. This is the doing the gua sha, right? All that. That process needs to be perfected. You need to have that shit down. Because when I start teaching you the foundation routine, and I start telling you, okay, blend this with this and that, and you're over here like, what the fuck? Like, I feel like I'm missing something. Like, why isn't it, like, it doesn't look the same way as what you put on? It's like, yeah, no, it doesn't. And let's just be clear, it's never going to look the same. The work that I'm doing and the essence that I'm putting into my work, it's a part of me, right? We're all uniquely made. And the purpose of Glamour Magic is to take your unique essence and amplify it to the nth degree. Something that cannot be replicated, copied, or taken, or stolen. That is the purpose. Is to make you so unbelievably unforgettable, undeniably gorgeous in every aspect of your personality that there is nothing that can shake you or change you. And it continues to propel you on your path as you move forward. This isn't one of those like, oh, we just did, well, you know, I was just feeling like I wanted to be a bad bitch today, so I decided to do some glamour magic. This is an every single day thing. When people say like, how much glamour magic do you do? It's everything. It's in every ritual, every spell, every incantation. It's a part of my self-concept. People ask me, oh, well, I just want to, like, what's like a fun way? They always ask me some like, I try not to get, I'm never upset with you guys when you ask me for like little funny, like fun little spells, you know, like fun little spells. But they're like, what's a good way to like amplify your makeup routine? And I always say, they're like, should I like do it under the full moon and charge it under the full moon? And I'm like, yeah, you could do all that. You could do that. But where it really goes off, where it really goes hard, damn, y'all, I'm really giving you guys some tea right now. I'm fucking breaking you guys off. You better fucking be listening to this shit, what I'm about to tell you. How you make your makeup routine really fucking powerful to the point where people are like, what the fuck are you using? Like, what is this? You pair every step of your makeup routine with your self-concept. And if you don't know what a self-concept is, I need you to go on Google or YouTube or wherever the fuck you get your information and type in self-concept. And for anybody who's too lazy to do that, your self-concept is how you identify with yourself, right? The way that you perceive yourself. When you are trying to create a new you, so let's say you're like a new me for 2023, which you should be starting that right now, by the way. BT dubs. Start it now. When you're trying to create a new you, you're going in and you're looking at every single aspect. How do I talk, walk? What do I do with my routines? The type of people that I hang out with, the things that I value. What are my morals, my ethics? Like, how much time do I spend with my friends and my family and this and that? What are my routines? All of it. You go in there and you look at all these little pieces, right? And then... and then every single step, right? So there is, like, most people will put a primer on their face, right? So now you bless your primer. Now there's ways you can bless it, right? You can pass it through smoke. You could do the moon, whatever. You could just put it in the palm of your hand and bless it. You can apply it and then say your intention with it. There's a lot of different ways, and we're not going to get into that because that's not my job. That's your job. You can figure out what you want to do. And if you really want to know, you could just take my course. Anyways, so your primer has a function, right? And the primer, what is the primer meant to do? The primer is meant to create a smooth foundation for the foundation to go on top of, but to also hold it together, right? So what is the intention for that primer? The primer is meant to create stability for me, for my foundation of my confidence, right? Maybe your actual foundation, whatever that shade is your confidence, is your awareness of self, is your attitude about what you're about to execute. Like if you're going into a job interview or an audition, right? It's I'm the fucking best choice for this, right? The primer creates an unshakable foundation for that layer to be planted upon. So it cannot move left or right. So you've blessed it for that, right? Then your foundation has its purpose, and it can be different every single time, right? It doesn't have to be the same thing. Then we start getting into things like contour. We start getting into the eye makeup. Now your eyeliner no longer is just regular ass eyeliner. It's protecting you from evil eye. People who look at you have to look at you and reveal themselves, right? You can use your eyelashes, your mascara to be more persuasive, right? You can, when you wink, whatever, like, you know, all of it has a function and a purpose, but it needs to be in alignment with your self-concept. So every time you apply your makeup, you're activating and blessing and imbuing more of that energy and intention into your work effortlessly, right? Now, if you're blessing each, you know, every single thing for something new every time, that's going to get a little bit complicated. But if you just start, and this is what I encourage, I just tell all my students, each individual item, go down the list of your self-concept, and the key things that you need to see shifts in and changes in. If you don't wear makeup, you can do this with skincare. Please tell me y'all, please tell me you guys got a skincare routine. It's important. Sunscreen, something. Lip balm, some eyelash serum, I don't know. But make sure that you're pairing each one of your, it doesn't even have to make sense. It doesn't even have to be like, oh, eyeliners for the evil eye. Like, it doesn't even have to make any sense. Eyebrows are for this. It just needs to be paired with the intention so that every single time that you put that makeup on, it is blessing you over and over. It is building energetically over and over upon itself to the point where it is so embedded into the practice now, it just becomes natural. And this is why I love doing my makeup. Like, I love doing my makeup for TikToks and stuff like that. And sometimes I like to take a little bit of a break, but I've also charged my skincare to be that for me as well, because I do feel the difference. I feel more active. I feel more on point. I feel like I get shit done. I'm excited about the work that I'm doing. And the Glamour Magic is on point. It's on point. And I don't even have to think about it anymore because I've already done so much work on it. So that's one of the ways that you take your makeup routine to the next level. Don't just be like blessing it. Oh yeah, my lipstick for whenever I kiss or whatever I say. I mean, you can bless it for that, like lip gloss, lipstick, all that for your speech, right? And that's a really great way of being able to enchant your voice and the things that you say. But you could do that with mouthwash, your toothbrush. You ain't gotta, you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? There's so many options. And if you really are really going down the list, if you're really truly aware of the type of person that you are trying to transform into, you can be that specific. You can give everything a job, every mundane item a job. Everything. And I'm telling you, yes, your cleanser to wash away that self-doubt or the negative energies of the day. And if you're using it to wash away, like, you know, you're using it to, there's like, you have a cleanser to wash your makeup off and then a cleanser that you just use for just regular cleansing. You can have them be different purpose. One of them is to wash away, you know, whatever the baggage, but the other one can just be to cleanse your face, but to not remove the energies or the intentions of the magic, to keep it potent. That all intentions, that all intentions set through this makeup application remain. Even though I'm washing it with this cleanser, they remain. It's like the magical emulsifier. So you don't lose the magic and the spell keeps going. Now they're like, you're giving too much. They're like, you're giving too much information. Y'all, I'm telling you, join the squad. Join the class. And this next time that I'm going to be teaching the course is going to be really, really exciting because all of the people that are going to be joining, this is like, y'all getting exclusive. This next one is really exciting because all of my students are going to receive so I have a Glamour Magic kit that you can purchase, and then it gives you a discount off of the class. so you can actually like utilize some of the stuff while you're taking the class or whenever, and just always have it. But this specific class, I'm also going to be offering some gifts that a couple of really amazing companies and brands that I'm working with, who also are on the witchy tip, are going to be including. And so the first 15 people that join will receive it free automatically, no matter what. Right? And I'm telling you, amazing things happen. And because this is so embedded into everything that I do, I can speak on this with so much confidence. I mean, from 2020, I'm a professional singer. I don't know if most of you guys don't know this. Some of you guys might know that I'm a professional R&B neo-soul singer. I'm on all major music streaming platforms. You can just go look my name up, Alexis Nicole Jackson. All my music will come up, and it's like witchy R&B, a vibe, Erykah Badu R&B witchy shit. And I'm gonna gas myself up a little bit, yeah. Oh my gosh, yes, the earrings are so fun. I love doing that, because that one will help you be able to discern if people are lying to you, to your face. But I know that this works because I've seen the transformational shift. And 2020 is when I finally decided to come out, out loud as a witch, and to come out as the glamour witch, right? I had been practicing prior to that, like for a few years prior to that. I think it started in like 2014 is when I really started to like accept, like, okay, I'm doing this and I'm just going to do it, and I'm not going to be afraid anymore. And it took me I was in the broom closet. And finally, in 2019, I had made a pact with myself. Okay, I'm going to launch my business. I'm going to put myself out there. And I had started making videos here and there. Like if you go back to my YouTube channel, there's some stuff from like 2018 or whatever. And I had started doing little things. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Ooh, thank you so much. But I wasn't ready to like really step into it. And so before 2020 happened, because look, we all know, none of us knew what was going to happen in 2020. Like I felt like something was going to transform, but I wasn't thinking that. You know what I mean? I wasn't thinking that shit. And I had made a promise to myself that I was going to launch in 2020. Lockdown happened, and it almost propelled me even further into it, because I was like, fuck, I don't know what's gonna happen, but people need this now. So I just pushed myself into it. And from April, I believe it was March or April, is when I opened my online store. And from April to July or June, I had went from like 500 people, like, which is decent amount of people. Granted, I was happy for 100, 200, 300. When I got that 500, I was like, oh shit. I was like, yes, like, okay. To 5,000 people in the month of June, from operating and doing this glamour magic work, not only in terms of like showing up, making the content, being authentically myself, sharing my magic, but in my marketing, in every aspect. And then it went from 5,000 to, it just kept going, right? And then I joined TikTok eventually, and, here we are, right? And that's in a year's time of transformation. A year's time. And I look back on that time too, and I'm like, sometimes I'm like, girl, you could have been, with the shit that you know now, you could have been doing way more, bitch. You could have been at 100,000 right then, that year. And so I know the transformation that happens, and I also know how painful it is to do healing work to do shadow work. Because it's radical self-honesty. And that shit hurts sometimes. Like, straight the fuck up. Like, if we keep it... Everybody thinks that this is, like, a fun thing. And, like, there's fun moments. But it's a lot of, like, just a consistent transformation. A consistent death. Ego death. You know? And that ego death can really put you on your ass. And I think if people really knew, some people probably wouldn't voluntarily sign up. I mean, the rewards are immense, but it'd be putting you on your ass. You'd be getting curb stomped by the universe sometimes. It'd be feeling like that. And it's such an uncomfortable place. And then that discomfort is where the transformation happens. And you have to get almost comfortable with being uncomfortable. And then it strengthens your the fears of anxiety around, thank you so much for the gifts, the uncertainty of life, of what's going to happen next. It also puts more power into your hands to be a co-creator of your reality instead of being at the mercy of whatever is going on. You stop asking, woe is me, or why is this happening to me, and what is this trying to teach me? You know, these hard life lessons stop becoming this opportunity for you to continue to beat down on yourself. Like, why is my life so horrible? And it becomes, wow, I'm really going through a transformation right now. I'm really transforming right now. And Spirit, please help me. Please be here with me. Please show me every single day how it gets better than this. And this is why doing the glamour magic, when you're in metamorphosis, is so powerful. Hi. It's so powerful because it now gives you ways to be able to lovingly dress and tend to the wounds as you continue, because you know it's not a painless process for that caterpillar. There's a lot of crazy shit going on in there that we don't know about. I don't know if they got a camera. There might be a video out there of the process of a caterpillar to a butterfly, but I'm sure it's not like painless. Their whole insides are being like reorganized. Everything is brand new. And people will only see the butterfly version of you. They don't see all that you had to go through. But when you have a healthy process of being able to handle that pain that doesn't create more pain for you, you start to begin to thank the universe for, not thank the universe for the pain, because, like, let's be real, like, wanted to square up a couple times. But you start to become almost like, okay, here we go. I know how to weather the storm. I know how to get on the other side of this. I know that I can handle whatever comes towards me. I know also that the more challenging the situation, the more powerful the transformation, as well as the blessings on the other side. So, damn it, here we fucking go. And I'm bust out all the tools that I can, and I'm going to be a student all over again. And I'm going to surrender in moments where I really desperately want to control. And the things that I have control over, I'm going to kick my ass into doing what needs to be done. Even when it's hard, even when I don't want to do it. I'm going to be committed to the consistency of showing up for myself. The glamour magic helps you do that. It reminds you consistently how important, hey girl, how important it is for you to consistently show up for yourself and tend to your garden and pull the weeds so that the flowers can bloom more beautifully. Like, everybody wants the beautiful roses, everybody wants the beautiful flowers, but they don't want to fucking do the insecticide, and they don't want to fucking go and pull and get all the pests out. They don't want to get their hands dirty. They don't want to turn the soil. And then y'all be it's just, it's a lot. And when you have something there to support you, when you have your connection to spirit and the divine and source, it makes going through those types of process so much easier, even if it doesn't feel like it. Because you got to think about this. Y'all got to think about anybody that's in this live right now who's magical, spiritual. I hope all of you guys are, because if you're not, I mean, welcome. If you're not, like, welcome. Anyways, you're totally welcome here. But imagine raw dogging life. Imagine raw dogging life, especially right now, with all of these transformational shifts hitting us at 1,000,000 miles an hour. We are rapidly, as a community, as a world, being hit with so much transformational change. It feels like we're being choked up. And I can't even imagine what it would be like if I were to go back to the time before I knew anything about magic, before I had really tapped into my spiritual gifts, and I was a muggle out here. A muggle. I would be floored daily, on my ass daily. Daily. Be appreciative of the facts. Right. Hella ghetto. Hella fucking ghetto in these streets. Because Earth is kind of like low-key ghetto right now. You know? It's crazy out here. And to be a person who believes in magic and uses magic and wields their power and uses their consciousness to wield and to will things forward into life, instead of being swayed by whatever is going to happen when this specific time is so filled with so much just absolute suffering and pain in a very unique way. It's not like people before us didn't have to go through shit, because that's bullshit. We all go. But this is very unique. And it's calling for people to go deeper into their mental and emotional health. It's calling forth for people to do more work. It's creating more loneliness because people are starting to be more aware. Like, oh, I'm not going to accept this, tolerate this behavior. You know, bad behavior is not being rewarded like it once was. So people are being forced to do the work and heal and actually be a participant in this world and not just a body floating around here. That's the only way to speak, right? Period. Because I don't know how many people in this live needed to hear what I'm saying and who will impart that to somebody else. Like, this is what this time is. And it's so imperative that you don't get lost in the sauce. Bye. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you. Yes, go do your glamour magic. It's so important not to get lost in the sauce. And when you have a routine, when you have something there for you that can carry you through the process, man. And, you know, this is not putting down anybody's faith, right? Any type of, honestly, like at this point, any type of faith is better than nothing. Is better than believing in nothing. To just think that all this fucked up, crazy whirlwind things that are going on is just like by happenstance, man, what a life. What a life. So anytime you get an opportunity to just be grateful for the fact that you are somebody who gets to practice magic openly. You gotta think about, like, just not that long ago, motherfuckers was getting hanged and thrown over cliffs with bricks on their feet and burned at the stake for just knowing how to use herbs. You know what I mean? And now you get to practice openly, out loud. A gift. And now with even more power, because you have access to so much knowledge at your fingertips at all times. You are more potent and powerful. Even now in this, you have the opportunity to be more potent, powerful, knowledgeable, if you choose to, right? Then I would say most people have gotten the opportunity to. Lack of education, not being able to read, lack of information because they were in parts of the world where they didn't have information. It didn't mean that they were less powerful. It just meant you get to see the through line of how magic has been used similarly and is still being used. You get to see the through line of that. And it reinforces the belief. It should reinforce and get you active and out of your bed every single morning, ready to do that spell. And it's not about the candles and the oils and the crystals, although I be doing this all the time and I love the work that I'm doing. It is about like the moments where, like, and I made this video recently. Some of you guys have seen my recent viral video talking about the process of healing after heartbreak, after disappointment. And this cycle of regeneration and transmutation is something that is a natural function within human beings. But when you have a spiritual practice to assert that, you heal faster, you heal with more grace, and you learn the lessons quicker than people who are out here, again, raw dogging life. Be grateful. I was just telling somebody that the other day. I'm like, damn. I think I was like out someplace. I was at a bar or something. And I was like, this is so funny. I was at a bar and I was doing a ritual because I was like, you know, I really just, I kind of want to like do something fun tonight, but I don't want to think about it. I also don't really want to have to pay because everything is so fucking expensive in Los Angeles. I mean, it's expensive everywhere, but it's so expensive in LA. And I was like, damn, like, you know, like I'm trying to budget, and I mean, it's the holiday season. It's just so easy to overspend right now. And I was like, I just want to like, I just wish that I had somebody that I could just like, hey, like all this I need to be taken care of. And then I was like, what the fuck? My friend goes, she's like looking at me while I'm talking. She's like, I'm just going to wait for you to figure it out. I'm going to wait for you to remember who the fuck you are, bitch. And I was like, I do have somebody that I could call whenever I need anything or want anything. I have like direct access. So what did I do? I snapped the fuck out of it for one. That was the first thing I did. There's steps. Snapped the fuck out of it. And I laughed at myself a little bit. And then I said, you know what? Okay. We're starting now. Right now. I'm not paying for anything for the rest of the night. I don't want to pay for a damn thing. I want to have the best time. I want to go to different parts of the city. I also don't want to have to pay for my way there. I don't have to pay for like Ubers and Lyfts and all that adds up. It'd be adding up. So I just said, I don't want to do. Universe figured out. We sat there for like maybe 10 more minutes. These girls come up to us and they're like, hey, you guys, I just want to say, you guys have such great energy. We wanted to know if you wanted to like come hang out with us. We go over to hang out with them and immediately just great people, super sweet, very, very fun. One of the people that was there was hilarious, absolutely funny. And they literally went out of their way to treat us the entire night. And we went to 3 different locations around the city, far locations. Didn't have to pay for anything. No drinks, no entry fees. And then when it was time for us all to separate, I'm like, okay, well, this is the part, right? This is the part where like, well, you're going home. Thank you for the gifts, by the way. Thank you, High King. This is the part where you're probably gonna have to start paying for some shit. You know what I mean? We're like, okay, well, you know, thank you so much. They're like, oh, how are you guys getting home? I guess we're just gonna like, I guess call an Uber. And they're like, oh, don't worry about it. We have a driver. I was like, and these people weren't like rich people. They weren't rich people. But I guess like one of their friends is like a professional driver who was there and like drove us home 2 separate locations and got us home safely. And to this day, me and that girl talk about it all the time. We talk about that night all the time. Like, it wasn't that long ago, but still, it's like, It's like, wow. Imagine not knowing you had the power to just will it forward. Crazy to me. So when I talk about glamour magic or any type of magic, please know that none of this is a like license for you to like the universe is not a microwave. You know what I mean? There are things you need to also participate in and do to be able to have that link in that tap, to be able to tap in to that well. You need to be a co-creator of your universe and your reality if you want to see anything change. You can't just, it's not like a shake and bake situation and you just toss it in there. Like, no. Cut up the veggies, season that bitch. And let the universe cook the ingredients. Help yourself. Don't be at the mercy and the whim of whatever you think is going to happen. That's not even what this practice is about. It's full ownership. What city was this in? Oh, this is in LA. LA, Los Angeles. But I don't know how I got so far off track. I went to preaching a sermon. I went to do all types of stuff. And if you're still in here, thank you so much for being in here. I really appreciate all of you and all of your support. Thank you. This is a early Christmas gift. Super, super. Hey, hello. How are you? Yeah, thank you for being here. I appreciate all of you guys. Again, this was supposed to just be me like doing magical shit and not talking to the camera, and then somehow here I am. But I do want to say one thing about the video that I just recently posted. Someone said, "Can you teach me what evil eye is and what it does, please?" Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you for the love, you guys. Seriously, I really appreciate that. Somebody asked about the evil eye. And the simplest way to think about the evil eye is this. And I'm sure a lot of you guys know. When you guys ever heard of the term like green with envy, right? That energy of like envy, jealousy, malice, that has a very potent vibrational frequency. Just like joy and love has a very potent and infectious energy. And it is like a virus. Think of people's jealousy and their envy and their ill wishing towards you as like COVID-19. It doesn't affect everybody the same way. But if you're one of those people that it does, it can really fuck you up, right? And I'm not even going to get into people talking about, oh, but it's not real. Da, da, da. We're not even, that's not the point of the metaphor. Okay, so stay with me. It is a virus that insidiously can creep in. You don't even have to know. You can't even sometimes see it, but you're going to feel it, right? And it can infect every part of your life. Your money, your self-esteem, your self-love, all of that, your health, your home, your security. It can affect every aspect of it's a psychic attack. It's an energetic and psychic attack that happens to you. And it can create a domino effect of negative shit that comes after as a result of that, right? And sometimes people can put evil eye on you and they don't even know that that's what they're doing. They're not even intentionally trying that, but because they're envious in their heart or jealous of something that you have, or maybe they just like, you posted something that triggered them one day and they're just like, oh, like, gosh, like, whatever. Like, that little bit of energy can, like a little virus, spread and become something way more insidious and infectious. So, in terms of like protecting yourself from those things, well, they copy you because they don't have the bravery to be themselves, and you do. I mean, in a way, and I hate saying this because people copy me all the time, but in a way, it's like flattery or whatever. It should be like if people want to copy you, it means that you're doing something really amazing. You're trend setting, but it's frustrating. And honestly, like, People need to be themselves because you're already taken, right? But the point that I'm making is when evil eye approaches in your life or you're being impacted by evil eye, it's important for you to maintain your energetic vibration as high as you can, right? To keep your mindset like, okay, there is something going on, but I'm not about to let this take me out or take me down. I do need to continue to cleanse yourself and clear any stagnant energy in your environment. If you got old clothes or messy, like, look, I'm a witch, so I got a witchy, chaotic space. It doesn't make sense to other people, but it makes sense to me. I get that. But if there's things that you know, the candle be talking shit. Damn, like, come on. They're like, no, but you need to clean that shit in the back. Anyways, if you know there are things in your space that could collect energy, blessed be, then you need to start there first. Anything that can catch and trap energy in a space, cleanse and clear your space. Right? And then you need to, like, I always say this, cleanse and clear your space, remove any stagnant energy, put your protections up, right? Protect yourself. So that protection magic, there's many different types of protection spells out there. I'm not even gonna get into that, but you can do that. But I like to do it, the way that I like to do it is not even that. I like to just take the evil eye and transmute it. Like, almost like catch it and then like put it into like a little bag, put some potions and some sauces and some stuff in there with it, shake that bitch up so it's not even what it was originally, and then harness the intense, infectious stronghold of that energy and use it for something else. And I have a spell on my Patreon on how to transmute gossip, people talking shit about you, either written or verbal, into energy, right? There's a spell on there. It's simple-ish spell. That's one of the best ways to deal with evil eye. And if you have wards in your space, like if you ward your environment, which you should do if you're practicing magic, yes, welcome in. If you practice magic, you should be warding your space. Put in your wards that is going to catch and transmute evil eye specifically, because you can't, it should, not everything, but evil eye specifically, and turn it into raw energy. It could be creativity. It could be success. It could be victory. It could be, prosperity, whatever that means for you. It doesn't have to be, it could be different for whatever the case may be, right? But if you know that there could be people specifically, like, let's say you run a business, you have your own storefront, right? Then what you want to do is you want to transmute people's negative energy into more prosperity and business for yourself. Same thing with glamour magic. People are going to send you evil eye. When you start shining and really doing this work and you really start stepping into your power, you're always going to, everybody can't be happy for you. And you ain't doing it right if everybody's happy about it. You know what I mean? So what you do is you don't run from like, okay, well, I don't want to have negative people like treating me like shit because I'm shining so brightly, so I'm just not going to do it. What you do is you imbue your magic either through sigil work or whatever different techniques. And again, I teach this in my class, but to take whatever nasty ass energy that comes from just people being jealous or envious of you because of how you're shining and turn it into more of what it is that they're jealous of. Like, the more they hate on you, the more beautiful you become. The more they talk shit about you, the more successful and the more your reputation improves. The more they try to downplay your gifts or whatever, or try to gossip on you, the more people are singing your praises. You just flip it on itself and you do the magic for that. Instead of trying to sit there and no, hi-ya, black, black, black. You become an alchemizing force of transmutation where you can eat that and it just becomes like, I don't know if you guys play video games, but there was this game a long time ago. I don't even know what it's called, but this is like something that's like typical in video games. But basically, the more attacks you hit on this person, the stronger that they get, right? You keep attacking them, and my fucking candle just spit when I said that, yo. We got some haters watching? I don't know. Yes. The more hateful people are to you, the more success comes to you. Because at the end of the day, you can sit around and be scared, but if that's getting in the way of you really stepping into your full power, then it's a problem. And none of your glamour magic shit is even worth doing if somebody could just come and derail that shit at any point in time. So you need to invest in work, not just spells that like make you like feel confident and like in your power. But you need to think a couple steps ahead. You need to be smarter than your opponent. You're welcome, gladly. So remember that evil eye doesn't have to be this big, scary, dark thing. And there was a time where I wasn't doing this work, and honestly, it was like, what the fuck? What was I thinking? I could have been eating all these hating ass bitches that were around me. I could have been, my ops could have been making me rich. But now I'll clear all those bitches out of my fucking life. Thank goddess. They're gone. Even online. You know? Somebody asked a question about healing rituals before. And I just want to go back to that. Oh, okay. This is going back to the, I don't know if that person is still in here, but this is going back to the video that I just recently made about breakups, heartbreak, and just the endings of relationships. It is so very important for you to remember 3 very important things. Whatever you're feeling right now, it is totally valid and it's okay, and you're going to be fine. It can't stay fucked up, right? The sun sets and it rises, and that's something you can always guarantee the consistency of that. If your life is going to be good and your life is going to be bad sometimes, and that's just how it is, and this is one of those times. But just know that because you're on this side of the spectrum, it's gonna get better, right? So if you're like in a hopeless place, just know that this is like not, this you're okay. Like, it's gonna be okay. Second, you have to look at your role in how things panned out, in the fucked up ways that everything has gone. Because it's this common denominator of any toxic relationship that you, or the patterns of that, of your life in relationships, will always be you. Now, I'm not talking about physical abuse and like assault, okay? And this is not about that specific type of situation, but even still, right? Without victim blaming or shaming, we have to look at the parts of us that accept the abuse, that are more familiar and comfortable with abuse than love, than healing, than support. And if we can look at those examine those spaces from a loving, compassionate perspective, there is a higher chance that we will not repeat the pattern. And there should be no shame in having to learn the lesson again, because whatever, like, you came here to have a human experience and to learn things. And a part of that is fucking up and failing and making mistakes and getting your feelings hurt and having your heart broken. Unfortunately, that is a part of this experience. And it sucks sometimes. It really fucking sucks. But it's also what comes, the risk that comes with putting yourself out there and being brave enough to step into the world and really love and have an open heart, right? Once you've gotten to the place where you can actually objectively look at yourself and the role that you played, then you can start doing the work to heal or do any type of rituals to start healing or pushing a person away or out of your energy or cutting the cord or releasing them, because you can't do it if you've bypassed all this, right? You need to take your time to feel upset, hurt, sad about whatever the situation is. That's the process of decluttering your mind, of picking the pieces apart, of even cleansing yourself, giving yourself a place, a clean space, a sterile space to purge that nasty energy, reflecting on your poor choices, whether that have been not looking at the red flags, giving them too many chances, lying to yourself about what the potential of this person was, pretending like, you know, or giving your power away. You know, did you stop doing the things that you love so that you could be in this position with this person? Did you stop showing up for yourself and your friends and your family to engage in this relationship? You know, how did you move? How were you moving in the situation? And if you feel like, honestly, like you didn't do anything wrong, it's not on you, I would honestly ask you to still look at how you have participated. Even if you feel like I didn't do anything wrong, I didn't deserve it, and that might be true, but you participated in it, and you may have stayed longer than you needed to. Because if you really saw like, okay, this was bad for me, you probably would have exited. If you really had the type of strong self-love, you probably would have exited sooner, right? And this is not about shaming you, because Lord knows I have been there, and I ain't got no place to talk shit about anybody ever. And that's not that's not what I'm here to do. And then, and only then, after you do those first two things, should you start be practicing any type of magic to come out of the situation. Because you will put yourself back into a negative space if those two things have not happened. If you haven't really processed and sifted through the emotional weight of what happened and how you felt about it, and really giving yourself an opportunity. You know, and every situation is going to be different, and the time, the length of that is going to be different for every person. So I can't sit here and be like, okay, it needs to be these many days or whatever the case may be. Right. Yes, giving too much sympathy and turning a blind eye to the red flags. So there you go. Boom. Right? Now, granted, I'm sure you probably, or either are still in that process of that feeling of, okay, that fucking sucked. I'm hurt and this is hurtful, and now I have to pick up the pieces now because this person has really made me question, like, okay, do I want to what's wrong with me? Like, whatever. All the fucking things that happen when we remove ourselves or end a relationship, whether that's friend or any of that. Once we are able to recognize those patterns and we can say, like, okay, this was me. This is my role. We need to make a plan, right? What's our plan moving forward? Because we're not about to sit back and like let this person, not only have they hurt us and wasted our time sometimes, right? But now they get to stop us from being out there to go out and find somebody who is actually in alignment with the type of person that we want to be with. Hell no. So our plan moving forward is, okay, I need to have a set of foundational rules now that is rooted in this lesson that I just learned. I just learned that there are too many, if there are red flags here. What are my go-to red flags? No, hell no. And applying the same red flags of this person was a hell fucking no. And I need to be hard line, and I need to make this promise to myself, because I'm going to get better and better at being able to find my match when I keep that promise to myself, right? To not tolerate that behavior. And then I need to have more sympathy and empathy, really empathy for myself, and remember this pain that I'm in, right? I don't want to be back in this place. And if this motherfucker can do the crime, he could do the time. We all got the same hours and days in the motherfucking week. He could go to therapy. He could be doing the healing work. he could just have left your ass alone. He chose to participate in this toxic behavior. Ain't no reason to feel sorry for a motherfucker. You can see a person is hurting and going through their own stuff. And this is not to like say like, oh, you better be fully healed before you step to me. That's not what this is. That's not what this is. But there's a level of self-realization and actualization that needs to be present in a person. They need to be actively working to recognize and not be a toxic force and bleed on people that didn't cut them. If they're not even able to reflect on that and show up healthy, they cannot do it for you. And if you can identify it immediately, okay, this person doesn't even really care about themselves like that, they're not going to care about how they're treating me. They're not even going to see the pain that they're causing me. And they're not going to know how to fix it. Right? That part is really important. They're not going to be able to see what they're doing to me and how they're hurting me. And they're not even going to know how to make it right if they do have an actualization, because they don't even know how to treat themselves well, how to heal their own wounds, how to delve deep and be honest with their own pain. They can't do it for me. And we can be empathetic and understanding to a certain degree, right? But there's got to be a plan. There's got to be a cutoff. There's got to be a standard. And we got to stick to that, because that's where your magic is going to go. So now we roll over to the part, step 3, right? Candle. Jesus Christ. Activating your magic, and that can be in so many ways, right? That's getting back into your routines. That's doing the things that once brought you a lot of life, a lot of peace. That could also just mean trying new things, bringing yourself into new environments that force you out of your comfort zone, getting around more healing spaces, going out and being in nature. I know it's cold as fuck in most parts of the country right now, and so like going outside is not really like a vibe, but still, if you can go outside, even if it's for just like a second, getting outside, right? It's breath work, it's dance, it's movement, it's writing, it's creativity. It's getting back into your energy, right? Getting back into yourself. This is the healing spell, right? Making it about you again. And then while we are in this space of pouring back into the cup, we can start doing magic now to make sure that we are actually tethering ourselves and removing ourselves from that person, right? Because you could get caught up in step 1 and step 2 and still give a motherfucker a chance to come back to you. Y'all hear what I'm saying? You can get caught up in step 1 and step 2 and still have a motherfucker come back around and think the shit is sweet. And because you ain't done step 3, the access needs to be denied, because you're too involved in doing the things that for you are filling up your cup. You've made those promises to yourself, and you already know that this person is not the person, right, that's going to give that to you. They've already shown you through their actions, their words, and through whatever other situation that they're not somebody who's able to provide that for you. And I know people are like, well, what if they come back and they're changed? What if they're still able to heal? All the things. That's not your concern. That's still not coming out of step 2. That's not even coming out of step 1, really. But simplify it. You're not coming out of step 2 if you're sitting there thinking, well, what if they come back and they like apologize and like we have like a really long talk and the passion is there again. You need to be so far away from the person that you were in that connection that they either need to be able to match that new version of you, healed, happy, and full of love of self, that they can match that. Because if they're only matching the version of you where you were putting yourself down to be, like they're finally coming up to that version of you, you're back at square fucking one. Nah, we're not doing that. So what your job is, healing, taking time for yourself. I personally am a huge fan of cord cutting rituals. I'm a huge fan of freezer spells. Okay? Now, if you're somebody who feels like you're absolutely done with this person and you're not going to accept it, I would do a cord cutting and just throw the whole thing away. Throw the whole person away. Just shut the whole thing down. But if you feel like, okay, this is a friend or a family member or something, or somebody that, whatever, that you feel like there's still a potential that there's some healing there, I say put it on ice. Literally. Freeze it. And when I say freeze it, I don't mean like our love for one another. That's not what I'm talking about. The obsession, the infatuation, the feelings of longing for this person that pulls you away from taking care of yourself, the worry and doubt of whether or not they're gonna come back, freeze it. Now, if you've ever done a freezer spell, they're pretty simple. They don't have to be super convoluted and like whatever. Like, it doesn't have to be like complex. But for me, easiest, simple way is taking a petition paper, and you want to write on the petition paper all the things that right now you are currently feeling about the situation that you know is getting in the way of you, like paying attention to you and loving you and taking the focus away from this fucked up shitty relationship and how it didn't work out. And again, this is not me trying to fucking talk shit or make you feel bad, because I have been there. But this is me being real. And it's coming out real. I'm sorry if someone's hurt by this. But the point that I'm making is, you're going to write on here what it is that you're feeling currently. Not what you want to happen as a result of the freezer spell, but what's happening now. Codependency, fear, feelings of longing, sexual desire, things that you know could put you back at square motherfucking one, feeling sympathetic for somebody who's not doing the work, avoiding the red flags, not trusting my intuition, deceiving myself about this person, missing them. That one's cold. Numbing myself. Running from my emotions. Whatever it is that you are currently doing now that you want to see stop, you need to put it as it is, in the present tense. And then, where is that? Where is it? Is it in here? I could have swore I had it just now. Oh, here it is. And this is a freezer spell oil. This is from Conjured Saint. I think this is like $12. You don't need this. You don't. But I like this. And you anoint it. Dab, 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 dab. Center. It's a holding pattern. Dab, 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 dab. Like the 5 on a dice. It holds it, solidifies it, brings it into reality, right? Or you could just rub it in your hands and then anoint the entire page if you want to do that too. That's a little hoodoo thing. Anyways, so you're going to bless it and activate it, that this thing, these actions, these mentalities, this mindset, this feeling is frozen, stopped, blocked, unable to progress forward in any way, shape, or form. You fold it up away from you. right? Whatever. It doesn't even have to be folded if you don't want to do that, but whatever. Again, doesn't have to be complicated. You get a plastic baggie, little plastic baggie that you get at a 99-cent store that has a little Ziploc baggie. You fill it up with water. Talk to the water. Tell the water what it's supposed to do. Same thing like how you bless this. Same thing with the water, because water does what? It holds and stores memory and energy. So that is the perfect place to store all of it, right? I freeze your influence. I freeze your energy. I freeze this vibration, whatever that is. You could add things. If you don't have this oil, you can add in clove. You can add in things that are banishing, right? Or you don't have to add in anything. If you ain't got no ingredients, and maybe you don't want people to be asking questions and shit, you don't gotta add anything. Just the paper, what you wrote, your intention, baggie of water, speak to the water, zip up the baggie, make sure you fill it up, make sure you clear those air pockets, because you want the paper to be in the water and frozen with the water around it. So make sure you get all the air, as much as the air is out of it as you can. And then you're gonna put it in the back of your freezer where you're never gonna see it again. If you're living in a colder place, a colder climate, you could always put it outside, but you also want to think about it like this. If you put it outside, it's going to thaw when summer comes. So that might not be the best choice. But I do know people will do freezer spells and freezer stuff or freezer work in the wintertime to stop certain things. You could do the freezer spell for a lot of stuff. But that's where I would start. Because then you actually are giving yourself an opportunity to remove yourself from the energies and the vibrations that will literally pull you away from minding your business and taking care of yourself and loving on yourself. And the healing will come because you won't be preoccupied with this. And then when you do other spells like self-love, because that's the real healing spell, right? Confidence, whatever your goals are that you're setting. Maybe you have fitness goals. Maybe you have business goals. Maybe there's, you're in school and you want to pass a test, whatever. And then you start working on those things. It becomes healing when you're able to commit to doing the things in your personal life that you want to do. Ooh, see that? The things that you want to do. And then you show up for yourself. It heals it on its own. You, in turn, it's like an apology. It's like apologizing to yourself for the mistreatment that you have inflicted on yourself. And then following up with that by doing the things that you should have been doing in the midst of this bad behavior, this bad situation that you are currently escaping from. And then you restore peace and balance to yourself through trust and consistency of self-love. And by no means am I saying that any of this... See, this damn candle is crazy. And it's going to go back up right now. It's going to go back up right now. It's crazy. And none of this is easy. I'm not trying to sit here and say like, oh, this is easy. Just do this. Like, it's so easy. You see this fucking candle? It's not that it's easy. It's not that it's easy. It's necessary. It's important. And it's the best way for you to get where you need to go. But it does require you to really be super fucking expeditiously fucking for real with yourself. Because if you really don't want to move on, you're not gonna. If you really don't want this to be done and you really don't want that person to like be gone out of your life, you're not gonna. Like, it doesn't matter how many healing spells that you do, because you're just going to keep letting that person come back. Or you're going to keep replaying that cycle with that person in other people. And again, this is not to shame anybody, because We all have things that we keep having to learn over and over again. And it's not about like, oh, we have to be fully healed, perfect for us to meet somebody or to have the type of relationship or the life that we want. That's bullshit. There's never a right time, perfect time, none of that. That's bullshit. It's only ever right now in this moment. You watching me right now, that's it. This is right now in this moment. That's all it is. Everything else, past, future, not happened, hasn't happened, or already happened. But it's right now in this moment. And these little things that I've shared with you are activating the now and the present mindfulness of you in this moment and taking stock. And when you can do this and you get good at doing this, you heal faster. You get over shit faster. Now, if you're talking about a relationship, you've been in a relationship for like 10 years, y'all been married, like, like, that's going to take you, step 1 and step 2, going to take you a little bit longer, right? Those 2 steps, rightfully so, should take you a little bit more time. You should be spending a little bit more time there. Especially if it's a family member or a friend that you've known for a very long time. That's really hard to unpack. It's a very hard thing to unpack. But important. Because the real healing comes from not repeating the cycle. The real healing comes from not putting yourself through it again. The real healing comes from going through that fucked up situation and then not letting that rob you of going out and finding what is for you. That's how you win and like get back and get your lick back. Right? Like you may have hurt me and like made me feel some type of way. And maybe had to go back and do some healing work and maybe go into hermit mode for a little bit so I could catch my motherfucking breath. But you ain't never going to stop me from loving. You're never going to stop me from believing in myself. You're never going to stop me from choosing myself. My goals are not going to stop. My mission is not going to stop. My aspirations are not going to stop. Nothing is going to stop. I'm going to continue to be the fly-ass, bomb-ass motherfucking creature that I was designed and created to be, and I'm going to do that now. Thank you for revealing to me the work that I need to continue to do. Thank you for being a mirror and a representation of what I do not want in my life. Be gone. Be one with the universe. And I'm gonna go back and take care of me. And people were asking me, and I'm going to do a video on this too. People were asking me in the comments of that video, like, can you go into depth? Y'all just got the whole tea right now. Y'all just got the whole motherfucking tea. Those are the steps. You know? And it's not easy, but so important, so necessary. And ultimately, that's really going to be how you get out. That's how you get out of it. And if you really want out, if you're really sick and tired of being sick and tired, you'll do it. You'll do whatever it is. If that pain hurts you deep enough, bad enough, if that really hits you, you'll do whatever you're going to do. Right. Exactly. And I'm telling you, the freezer spell is really fucking awesome. And if you don't do the freezer spell, which that's probably the easiest one to do, a good cord cutting is great. I offer cord cuttings on my website, theglamourwitch.com, or you could just do it yourself. If you feel good about that, just do it yourself. Go research and look up how to do cord cuttings. They don't always work, so just know that cord cuttings don't always work, especially if there is other things going on. Yes, I hear you. And again, if this person is meant to be in your life, then they're going to be in there no matter what, right? If they're meant to be with you, there's going to be nothing that stops them from being with you. And the beauty is as well that as you heal and do your work and transform and rise into your greatness, they will either have to rise to meet you or they will let you go. Typically what happens is Spirit, and I love this, and I don't want to say this happens in every single case, but if a person is doing their healing work and they are meant to come back into your life for whatever reason, either to test you again or to make amends or whatever, and you've been doing your work and they've been doing theirs, but you're still just not there yet, you're going to get that resolve, right? There is going to be a level of peace there, and then it won't hurt anymore. And then you'll be able to say, like, you know what? Thank you, right? And sometimes that is better than trying to get back with that person or figure out why they did what they did or any of that shit. But if a person's really meant to be in your life and you go and do your shit and then they actually do their shit and they're able to meet you there, woo! There's nothing that can stop it. But what will stop it is if they do their work and you still went here waiting for them to come back. Now what are they coming back to? It's still uneven. Let me answer these questions. Question: I did a cord cutting and now I feel like we just can't stay away from each other. So it depends on the cord cutting that you did and what the results of that cord cutting were. Like, what happened in the cord cutting? Like, you know, what did you do? I mean, it's hard for me to be able to answer that question. Because there could have been signs in the cord cutting that the cord wasn't cut, right? Or that it's going to take a long time, or that it could be a painful release, or that somebody doesn't want to let go. Let me close this damn door or this window. Because I can hear all my neighbors and shit walking around. And I'd be like, someone trying to come up the window. What's up? What's up? I did a cord cutting a while back, still having financial ties to my ex, and I'm paying for it now. Ooh. Yeah. Again, I need to know what exactly that you did. But sometimes, again, the cord cuttings don't work. And I've seen that happen, and it's happened to me. It was burning nonstop. How long did it take for the cord to snap? I mean, was it at the very end of the you know, because sometimes it's just different, right? If you even watch cord cuttings, like videos or whatever the case may be, the weirdest shit will happen in the cord cuttings. And it will be able to identify. And this is kind of why people hire other people to do cord cuttings for them, because they can actually identify those things. But sometimes the bond is so strong, right? It might be a soul tie. It might be something that you need to go back into the Akashic records to clear. It might not be something like, you know, it's easy to cut the cord with like a karmic person, right? Like, some of those are easier because it's like, okay, well, that's simple. Close the door. The cycle is done. Whatever. They weren't ever meant to be in your life for an extended period of time. But somebody who you have like a lifetimes of history with, you might have to go into the Akashic records to unbind yourself from them. You also have to think about the things that you did in that relationship. Like, people don't realize how much like magic that you're doing on yourself in relationships. Like, that's a whole nother conversation for another day. Like, I can't even get into that. But like, casting spells on yourself in the relationship that bond you, soul bonds you to that person through sex, through so many things. Yeah. Well, if somebody is a soulmate, you really can't let them go, really. And I think what you would want to focus on, instead of cutting the cord between you and them, you could focus on cutting the cord between you and the toxic things, the negativity that keeps you going in this cycle. And I think that's something that also people need to recognize, that some things you do a cord cutting, not necessarily to the person themselves, but the energetic vibration or the issue that's causing the problem. Sometimes you're going to do a cord cutting to the person completely. Like you just want them out of your life and never to return. And then other times it's going to be more like we're cutting the cord to the negativity or the animosity between us. Yes, you can absolutely give people the evil eye. I mean, the simplest way is to ask yourself why. I mean, because again, evil eye comes from jealousy, envy, malice, and ill wishing of a person. If any of those things are coming up for you when you're looking at a person's life or scrolling on their social media or just being around them, you got to ask yourself, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you. You got to ask yourself, why am I jealous of this person when they're not a superhuman being? They're not some like Gorgon from the planet Zephyr or something. They're a human. And if they can have it, and I see that I want it, and I know that it's possible because they are doing it, there's a part of me that wants to participate and wants to have the freedom to either do the same thing or to have the freedom to live the life in a similar way as this person. They're showing me something. So instead of me being jealous of them or envious of them, I need to figure out and I need to uncover these emotions about what's happening. And once you start getting better at that, it's going to be easier for you not to be passing evil eye off of it. You're going to be like, ooh, there's a mirror. That's so cool. Yeah, I love that. I want that too. Thank you for showing me that. You know, there was a time, you know, I mean, I feel like I've always been this way. I never really understood being jealous of people because if you can see a person's light, it's because it's only recognizable to you because it's familiar. It's within you. So you're getting an opportunity to see it out loud in its natural state. And you're not meant to be envious of it. You're meant to take notes, right? And if you can look at it like that, it chills, it melts the chill block off of you, right? That jealousy, that envy, and even ill wishes. You're so very welcomed. Thank you guys, all of you guys, for being in here. I really appreciate it. Damn, 16K likes. Y'all really turned up. Thank you. I really appreciate all of you guys for being here. Hi. Thank you guys. Y'all didn't watch this fucking flame. The flame was a paid actor. Hired it for this to go up and down throughout the, you know, to really give dramatic emphasis on the words. Yeah, you didn't know you could pay inanimate objects as actors? Well, welcome to my world. But listen, y'all, I've been on here for like an hour, maybe even more than an hour, but I am going to get off. I'm going to sign off. I love you guys so much. This was such a great session. I can't even, I was not expecting any of this shit. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna do my little magic spells and just let you guys watch me. And it became like a sermon slash motivational speech slash witchy, like so much more than I was expecting. That's spirit. That's all spirit, right? I mean, that's just, woo. Girl, I'm so sorry. Ain't no recap. Somebody tell her in the comment section. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. Yes, I'm glad. You know what? And I might just say this because now I know how to like actually upload videos on my TikTok and like from the lives I can actually upload. But yeah, and as far as the notifications go, like I just got on here. There was no like whatever. I'm so happy to hear that. I'm not a board licensed therapist, so please. Because I ain't trying to hear no shit. Like, yeah, I'm actually getting therapy with the Glamour Witch. No. But if you're interested in joining the Glamour Magic course, which it's kind of like a lot of this, please consider joining us. Again, there's going to be special stuff this go round that I'm really excited about. And that will be announced in the new year, obviously, because your girl ain't trying to do that. And if you're interested in getting a year ahead tarot reading, which I think is amazing, please consider going to my website, theglamourwitch.com. That's the only way that you can purchase anything from me. Readings, candle work, any of that. Yes, I'm an Aquarius. And it's a year ahead tarot reading. I go month by month, each individual month, and your overall energy for the year. And this year specifically, all of the people who get readings from me will also include a intuitive gift that is meant to support you or to just guide you through the year. Again, I don't know what that's going to be because, you know, everybody's going to get a different gift. But if that sounds like something that's interesting to you or a good Christmas gift for somebody else, go to my website, theglamourwitch.com, purchase one for you and your loved one. If you buy one for you and your loved one, then you guys automatically will be put into the ritual at the end of the year for my road opening ceremony for 2023. So consider gifting to your friends, you know, sharing is caring and all that jazz. The candle would like to say thank you as well. Give him a little show, give him a little dance. Spirit's like, hey. Oh, you're so sweet. All right, you guys, I love you so much. Again, I'm going to try to save this. And if I can, because this is like an hour. If I can figure out a way to save this, I'm going to just post it on my YouTube channel. And then you guys can just rewatch it. Because we talked about a lot of shit in this. A lot of shit. I love you. Thank you, Candle. Thank you, Spirit. And I hope that you guys have a beautiful rest of your evening, morning, night, whatever. Yes, I'll see you guys soon. Be blessed.